We recording? We ready?
We ready?
Okay.
Okay. Hello, everybody. I'm Letitia. And today it is going to be Gregory in front of the camera instead of behind. So one night I had a dream about my husband's accident and the testimony behind it. So when I talked to him the next day, I asked him, I said, has anybody ever asked you why this scar is on your face? And of course he was like, yeah, some people have asked, but I asked in particular, have anyone at our church asked about it? Because, you know, we've been in our church for a long time. We have a lot of new members, and sometimes people just don't want to ask because, I don't know, it could be for any reason. And he told me that no one had asked about the scar on his face, even though it's very visible. So I told him, I said, you need to share your testimony about what happened. And so that is what we're going to do today, right?
That's correct.
Okay. All right, so Gregory, tell us about that night in January 2003. What happened to lead up to your accident? What were you doing?
Okay. That night in particular, we were young. Can't remember how old he was. We had our first child together, Desmond, and he was pregnant with Keon, our second child, who is 22 now. Yeah. So that night, I was at home at our apartment, a small little apartment we had on West Capitol Street. It was like a little fourplex, 2 upstairs, 2 downstairs. And so I think me and my wife, she was my girlfriend at the time. Were you my girlfriend? Yeah, she was my girlfriend at the time. And I think we had gotten to it or something. I think I was upset with her, mad with her or something about it, and she was gone. So you know what? I was like, you know what? I'm finna go. I ain't finna stay at the house. I'm finna go out too. I'm finna go have me some fun. So I ended up going over a friend of mine's house, some homeboys of mine's house, and they stayed in the lodge at the time. If anybody knows about Jackson, back in the day, the apartments on West Highland Drive out in somewhat Southwest Jackson, South Jackson, used to be the lodge back in the day. So I went over there, ended up going over there, and at that time, I was, in the streets, smoking and drinking. So went over there, and they were smoking and drinking, just having a good time. So I went over there to kind of escape, and get out the house, try to escape and get my mind off whatever we was going through. I can't remember what we was going through, what we was even arguing about. But I went over there and was just over there just having a good time, blowing them back to back, drinking, smoking back to back, just having a good time. And I remember we was drinking on brown liquor. Now, anybody know you don't mix the two together, brown and clear liquor. So we were drinking on brown alcohol, and when the brown alcohol was gone, well, we had clear alcohol left and keep the party going. So we just started drinking the clear alcohol. So here I was, had been smoking a lot of marijuana, and had been drinking 2 types of alcohols. And so, of course, I was very intoxicated, highly intoxicated, to the point where I had no business driving. But I ended up leaving the apartment. To this day, I can't remember how I even opened the door to the apartment, walked down the stairs from the apartment, down the stairs to my car. I don't remember any of that. I don't. So in my mind, I was like, well, I think they was going to do their own thing, and I was like, well, I'm finna go home. But between me leaving the apartment and going to my car, I was like, you know what? I ain't finna go home. I'm finna go to my other homeboy house that stayed on Bailey Avenue. I'm finna go over his house and I'm finna, I'm finna get towed some more. I'm already towed up, but in my mind, I'm thinking I'm finna go have some more fun. I ain't going home. She ain't at home. So, end up going from the lodge across town to Bailey Avenue. Now, I don't remember to this day how I made it from that side of town across town. I'm talking about I was thrown off. So I get over there, barely made it over there. Get over there, knock on his door. Well, he's surprised to see me. Of course, in the condition I was in, he wanted to know, how you get over here? Are you all right? So I go over there. As soon as I hit his couch, I go to sleep, just fall asleep. I'm just comatose. So moments later, it has to be about 30, 45 minutes later, I wake up discombobulated, like, where am I? I'm not at home. So I wake up, jump up. I kind of scared him because he's like, but what's going on, you all right? So I jump up, hop in my car, and proceeding trying to get to the house now. And I never did make it to the house. I'm coming down, anybody know about Jackson? Coming down, what was that? Woodrow Wilson with Hawkins Field? Is that Woodrow Wilson or Mega Evans? Mega Evans. Coming down Mega Evans behind the zoo. There's a railroad track behind the zoo, and there's a sharp curve coming down Mega Evans, and it curves like that, coming to that light. So what I remember, now this I do remember. I remember on the gas driving down Mega Evans, and before I know it, I'm driving like this, my eyes closed, because I couldn't see. I remember my eye being closed, because I fell asleep behind the wheel, and I remember my head doing this right here, like this behind the wheel, and my foot hit the gas. I remember to the day, I hearing the engine revving up. And before I know it, I felt a bump, like and I clenched and gripped the steering wheel. Before I know it, what I was told, because an eyewitness saw it, from what I was told, my car flipped multiple times, and it landed on these wheels off the railroad track, by the railroad track behind the zoo. I didn't have a seatbelt on, so of course, I'm in the car just bouncing back and forth. So something sharp or something evidently must have, scarred my face or cut my face and kind of cut my forehead a little bit. And before I know it, I remember someone coming to me and asking me, am I right? Asking me, is there anyone I want to call or whatever. Before I know it, they called an ambulance, and by the grace of God, they was able to get me to the hospital. And that's how it was.
Okay. So, of course, you're not remembering everything, and these people that saw you get into the accident. Mm-hmm. I remember you saying that they said it was only 2 cars on the road, your car and their car. Y'all coming in opposite directions when they saw the car start flipping. Mm-hmm. And the car actually flipped off the road over, maybe I guess across the railroad track where nobody else would have been able to see you. Mm-hmm. So if they wouldn't have been on the road, no one would have been able to come to your assistance.
Yeah, it's just by the grace of God, by the grace of God that those it was divine how he sent that car. I didn't know that it was just 2 cars on the highways on the road. So for the fact that they were the only ones that saw it meant that they were there for that time to see me, go through that, and was there to assist me and help me out, because I could have been on the car on the road and could have died there. Could have died, loss of blood. It could have turned out to be a whole different situation.
Okay. So we know you had went unconscious. Mm-hmm. Because you don't remember being put in the ambulance or anything like that. So mm-hmm. when you finally wake up, what do you wake up to in the hospital?
And then before that, of course, I'm DUI. I'm highly DUI under the influence. I'm talking about extremely driving under the influence. The whole time, I thank God for this too. The whole time that I was there waiting on the ambulance, the police never did show up, because the police could have showed up, and in the condition I was in, and even though I had just endured a horrific accident, they could have served me with a DUI charge. Even, in the midst of all that, they could have served me with a DUI charge, but by the grace of God, it was after the ambulance came is when the police came and then of course assessed the accident. But by the time I'm gone now, so I didn't get charged for that with the state I was in. So I thank God for that. But when I woke up in the hospital, the ambulance brought me to the hospital. I remember they laid me on a steel bed, a steel platform, whatever. Because I remember it was cold. It was cold. The platform they laid me on was cold. It was cold in the room, in the emergency room, and through all the intoxications and the way I was just out of my mind, what I remember is I had a fresh fit. I was clean. Back in the day, Nautica and Hilfiger was the top-notch clothes, along with Polo and Chaps and everything. So I had a fresh Nautica fit on, fresh Nautica jacket, clean Nautica jacket, Nautica shirt, nice little pants, clean pants. And them folks said, okay, Mr. Young, we're gonna make sure your bones not broke or whatever. We're gonna cut your clothes off for you. Make sure your bones not broke. I said, no, ma'am, these clothes brand new. Do not cut these clothes off in my state of intoxication. I remember telling them folks, do not cut these clothes off me. I'm good. Look at me, my bones are good. I'm drunk. I'm in there just and gone. I'm good. I'm dangling my feet in my hands. I said, do not cut these clothes. Please do not. Mr. Young, we gotta do it. No, don't do it. I like, oh no. They cut them clothes off me and laid them to the side like that. And took me off them clothes and then gave them back to me all bloody in a bag as if I wanted them clothes.
So,
but anyway,
I know you had to go through emergency surgery. You being intoxicated and that's probably what kind of downplayed the pain of the state that you were really in, because you didn't know how bad the accident really was. You didn't know how banged up you were. Mm-mm. So I know you had to have emergency surgery right then and there. And of course your face was obviously gashed open. Mm-hmm. And
I can feel them in the emergency room stitching my face up. It was just that bad. Apparently the gash was a laceration. It wasn't even a cut, it was a laceration. That's what they called it. And I can literally feel them stitching my face up. I can feel them tugging on my face. I felt the tug on my face as they was sticking me and tugging it and closing it up. I can feel that.
But it wasn't just the side of your face, because your scar goes from your mouth across your head to the other side. So they said that you had...
That this was from surgery. What I sustained in the accident was the laceration right here and some fractured bones.
And why did they have to cut across your head?
They had to cut across my head because I had fractured bone in my nasal cavity. So what they did was, doing surgery, was they did a face-off type of deal where they cut me, they did an incision across my top of my head, and they flipped my face down. I'm imagining, I'm assuming they flipped my face down. So what they did was, I think they put a plate in my head, because to this day I can feel a screw right here on the side of my temple right here, side of my head. They took bone out of my hip, and they put bone in my hip and transferred it into my nasal cavity to kind of compensate for the bone, I guess, that was crushed or whatever, fractured or whatever. So they did that. So they reconstructed my nasal cavity, and then they flipped me back up and then stitched me back up. They put draining tubes in my head and in my side. So I was banged up. I looked like somebody had hit me with a bag of niggas, looking like Martin when he got beat up by Tommy Hearn.
Yeah, I remember once I did get notified that you were in the hospital, because I had no idea about the accident. I didn't know where you were. So when I did get word that you were in the hospital, and I came to the hospital and I walked in the room and saw all the drainage bags and the IVs, and you were very swollen, still kind of bloodied up, crushed, dried of blood. It was pretty bad. It was pretty bad. And I don't know if you had actually saw yourself then. I don't think that you had got out the bed yet, because you were in the hospital for 2 weeks. Do you remember those 2 weeks?
Yeah, I was in the hospital 2 weeks. Yeah.
Do you remember just what you were doing in them 2 weeks besides laying in the bed?
Just laying in the bed.
Yeah.
Just laying in the bed. Laying in the bed draining.
Yeah.
You know, they had a catheter in me.
Yeah.
You know, I ain't too fond of that, but you know, hey, it was what it was.
Yeah. So, yeah, I know you were in the hospital for 2 weeks, and I remember, you know, you coming home and actually being able to see yourself and not liking, you know, what you were seeing. You felt like I'm not gonna say, I don't know if you felt like you was disfigured because you were so swollen that you didn't look like yourself. And then of course you had that brand new scar that, you know, went all across your head to your face.
Yeah, that took some time getting used to. That took some time getting used to the scar being on my face. Because I had that happened when I was, how old I was? 22?
I think you were like 22,
23.
Yeah.
So I had went all my 22 years of living, you know, all my teenage years. I had a boyish look, you know. I was, you know, clean face, you know, ears pierced. I had all my hair. I think you say it's hereditary, but I think, and some may be somewhat hereditary, but I think when they went and disrupted the way my hair grew by them flipping my skin down, I think that disrupted the hair growth right here. So, you know, my hair gonna grow like it used to before that happened. So, you know, I had to deal with that, and it was a major adjustment. It was a major adjustment.
Yeah, and I know it took some time to heal.
Yeah.
It took some time to heal. You couldn't work.
I had to go get, I think, because I got the driver's license, I still got it when I had to go. I don't know if I had lost my driver's license or it needed to be renewed, but I had to go and get a new driver's license, and to walk in that place looking like somebody here I just got jumped on, and then get my picture taken, it was rough.
Yeah, and we still have that driving license, which we're going to show a picture of, along with some photos of the vehicle.
Yeah.
A vehicle that he loved dearly and had just paid off. Honda Accord.
Yeah, 1992.
Yeah.
Two-door coupe.
Yeah. So, one thing that I think about is, you know, during that time of the accident, of course, we weren't saved going to church or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
But when I think about that, I think about how God loves us unconditionally. Mm-hmm. He loves us regardless. Like, of course, like I said, you know, we weren't going to church.
No.
You weren't going to church.
No.
You weren't in the Word. But He still spared your life.
Yeah.
He saw purpose for you to allow you to live. He saw fit that those people, whoever they are, because we don't even know their names, don't remember their names, was on the road that night and they
Never even met him.
saw that accident and was able to come and call for help and stayed there with you, even though they didn't know you. So, of course, God knows everything. He knows the future, so he knew what was going to happen anyway. But even after that, you know, you get better, you heal, and we still don't realize what the Lord has did. We're still not going to church and doing all these things, because usually after something drastic like that happens, people usually change their lives. But, you know, because you're young and in that case or whatever, you know, that wasn't something that happened at that time, but, you know, further down the line, of course it did. But it just shows that God is merciful and you know, it's his will, basically. And like I said, you know, there are testimonies that a lot of us have before we even get to know the Lord. Because I think about things that happened, you know, in the past or whatever, where he has stepped in and, you know, made a way for me before I gave my life to him. So,
let me say this. You mentioned that we were not in the church, or we wasn't saved. And even through those times, God's love for us, he still had love for us. Of course, he loved all his children, all mankind. But I believe it was the prayers of my mom. She was always praying and still praying to this day. But during that time, she knew that we were not we were not going to church. We were not reading our Bible. We didn't have a relationship with God. We were not in the place that, you know, we should have been. And so she continued to pray for us, continued to tell us to go to church, even to the point where I would go to church just to kind of like check the box off the list saying, well, hey, we went to church today, or just go to church just to say we was there. So when she asked, well, did you go to church today? Or if she was there, when she was there, she saw us, just to say we went to church. So no, we weren't saved, but even though we were saved, God still had his hand upon us, because I believe he knew where we were going and where he saw us. So I thank him for sparing my life that night. You know, I had a lot of people ask me, did you stop drinking afterwards when you had that wreck? No, I ain't stopped drinking. I was still drinking. I was still drinking and driving, but I think I did in a naive way. I think I did it. Call myself doing it smarter or whatever. I didn't drink as much when I was still kind of tipsy behind the wheel, but I wasn't just like slizzard like that, like I was that night. I didn't allow myself to get like that. Now I might have been high as a bird, but I wasn't drunk like I was that night. So yeah, I still continue to drink afterwards. I think it was years later before I kind of put the bottle down. What is this, 2025? Nah, I haven't drunk like that since, 2016?
Yep, 2016.
Yeah. I haven't had a smoke since then. The drinking I think wasn't really my hang up. I think it was the marijuana was my hang up, because I enjoyed it. I did it every day, all day for about 20 years. So I think that was the challenge, giving that up. It was rough the first few months. The first few months it was rough. I was like Pookie on New Jack City, trying to give it up. But
So, what would you say about drinking and driving now to somebody that continues to drink and drive?
what would I tell them?
Mm-hmm.
Don't do it. I mean, don't do it. I mean, I'm a living witness of, because, and it's funny you asked me that because, like right after I had my wreck, like 2 weeks later, I saw on the news where a guy, and I don't know I don't know if he had been drinking or whatever, but I saw on the news where a guy had hit a pole, and ran through a pole, and he didn't survive. He died, hit a pole, hit a tree or hit a pole or something, and he died. And here I am, God spared my life where I ran off the road, car flipped, car just totaled. It was just demolished. And he spared my life. So, I would tell a person, man, if you're gonna do it, don't get behind the wheel. If you got to have a drink or a smoke or whatever, man, don't get behind the wheel. Do it at home. Sit down and do it. It's not worth it because you don't never know what tomorrow's not promised. And the way I try to look at things is yesterday is gone and tomorrow's not promised. So.
Yeah. And another thing I think about is, thank God nobody else was on the road where you would have hit them and maybe killed them, because a lot of times when we see these accidents, the drunk driver hits someone, the drunk driver survives, and that person that was just driving along, perishes.
Mm-hmm. And I believe, at the rate of speed I was going, because I'm sure I was going at a high rate of speed, because I heard that engine rev up. When you lose consciousness, you lose the mobility of your limbs or whatever, of your awareness. And so when I lost consciousness, my feet just hit the gas, just lay down on the gas. And I heard that engine when it revved up. In my drunken state, in my comatose sleep state, I heard that engine rev up, and I felt that car when it hit the curve or ran out the curve or hit the side of the road. And when it did that, I felt it when it boom, and I braced up. And I remember that car, doing what it was doing, flipping.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I thought it was important for you to share the testimony about your accident.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, your life was spared. God saved you. You have a scar to remind you. I mean, I've been with you so long that I don't even see the scar anymore. I just see you. Mm-hmm. And I'm pretty sure you just see you now.
Yeah,
but,
I see the scar, but
But I just thought a lot of people may be curious about the scar and just not want to ask.
I don't mind people asking me.
Of course
I done had people ask me. Of course they start off by, I don't mean to offend you. I don't mean to be nosy or whatever. How they ask? I'm like, well, how did you get that scar? Oh, I tell them, I don't mind telling them.
Yeah. But some people, they just. They won't ask.
I ain't that guy. I ain't stuck up like that. I'm cool. You want to ask me something, you can ask me.
Yeah. Okay. So, is there anything else you'd like to say before we go ahead and end this?
Thank you. I thank you for allowing. Thank you for being obedient, allowing the Lord to come to me and share what He had placed on your heart to share about this I don't want to say testimony, but just share my story of how I got this scar on my face, and just let people know that God is real, and our lives are precious, and that we have a God in heaven who cares about us. I tell my friend Jimmy all the time, I might have shared this with you too. No matter what because at the end of the day, we are human beings. We are earthlings on this planet Earth. We are people. We are spirits housed in this flesh clay body, was created in the image of God. What I say all the time to myself whenever I'm going through stuff, no matter what we may be facing down here on this earth, whatever we may be going through, financial, emotional, mental, physical, whatever circumstances we're going through, whatever trials we may be going through, whatever situation we may be facing, whatever hardships we may endure, whatever the case may be that we take on in a day-to-day basis, no matter what is that have us, just throw it off, whatever we may be going through as humans, it does not change who God is on the throne. God is not throw it off. He's not surprised about what we go through because he knows what we're going through. But I think it's what's important is how we handle what we're going through. Try not to panic. Try not to worry. Whatever we're going through, pray about it. And I'm saying this, I tell myself this all the time. Don't worry about what we're gonna eat, how we're gonna pay this bill, or how we're gonna get here, or how we're gonna get there. Don't worry. Just trust God, because He knows. He knows. So like I say, whatever you're going through, it does not change who God is. God is still faithful. He's still good. He's still God. So we just got to remember to every time He allows us and give us the chance to see another day, to thank Him for who He is, praise Him, give Him worship for who He is, just love on Him, honor Him, put Him first, and just thank Him for who He is. So thank you.
No, thank you.
Okay, that's it. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Okay. So that's how I got the scar on my face.
Okay. Well, for anybody that watched the video today and listened, I hope if you had any questions about it, he answered it, or just seeing how God is so good. He loves us unconditionally. I just hope that you got something out this video today. So, thank you.
Thank you.